Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wells Fargo Center in scenic downtown Des Moines, Iowa, the home of the brand new American Wrestling Association. As you may or may not know, Vincent Kennedy McMahon has recently revitalized this old, formerly defunct Federation of Professional Wrestling here. We've based it in Iowa, and it's basically the proving ground for the youngest, rawest, or most over-the-hill talent in the WWE universe in today's wrestling world. So coming to you live on YouTube tonight from our smaller Wells Fargo Arena, we're starting the first of 5 one-fall matches as we've got the well-traveled superstar Raven making his way to the ring for singles competition against the one and only Fire Ant of the Colony. And Raven, a storied career in both in 3 federations, ECW, WCW, and WWE. He's come here to AWA to try to re-stamp himself on the WWE universe at this advanced stage in his career. And General Manager Stone Cold Steve Austin has happily booked him for an opening match here against Fire Ant. You'll recall at our pay-per-view that Raven lost the Heartland Championship match last month against Seth Rollins. And here comes Fire Ant, representing the Colony, brand new here from the now tragically gone Chikara. As you may or may not have heard, Chikara was one of the longest-lasting independent promotions to compete with the WWE's new YouTube formula, and recently their billionaire owner, Wink Vavasseur, did away with the company in a much grander conspiracy than has to do with professional wrestling, and much of his former talent has decided to go elsewhere, and the AWA has signed a good deal of those wrestlers. And here we go, the match is underway, and Fire Ant with his speed leading off with a nice athletic bulldog there on Raven. Each is looking to gain a little traction here at AWA. Raven has been around that Heartland Championship, but he's lost his last few matches and seems to be out of contention immediately, whereas Fire Ant has just recently signed with the company, and he and his mates in the Colony are looking to come up with a little bit of steam here. We're not sure what the Colony's going to do. We know that they're very active competitors. We know that they're going to be pursuing titles, obviously, as everybody is, because they wish to be promoted and make money. But we don't know how they're going to go about that. Where we have The Shield, who had Seth Rollins as the Heartland champion until he lost his title this past Saturday to Tyson Kidd the night before Night of Champions. And then we had Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose pursuing the tag team titles of AWA, the Hawkeye Championships, held by the Dudley Boys. We're not sure how the Colony will split it up, but seeing Fire Ant out here in singles competition seems to show that the veritable alpha of the Colony is the one that's going to be pursuing a singles title, and by the fact that he's going after Raven, that could very well be our minor championship here, that Hawkeye title. And the fans here in Des Moines are ready to see some of their favorite independent wrestlers in action in the lower rungs of the WWE Universe, as Raven there with a big Russian leg sweep, sending Fire Ant down to the canvas as hard as humanly possible. Ref runs out of the way, and Raven is going to town on Fire Ant right now. He's got him by the arm, but Fire Ant reverses out. All that fast-paced Lucha Libre-style wrestling he picked up in Chikara is paying off here against Raven, who favors a much slower and more methodical pace, typically with some form of weapon in hand. This is not an Extreme Rules match. This is a one-fall match, so that weapon would disqualify Raven and send him even further down the card. Definitely not something he wants to do. But here's Raven with an elbow to the face and a drop toe hold. A nice combination there. He's got Fire Ant where he wants him, but Fire Ant reverses out into a side headlock. Raven throws him to the mat, and we continue on. We've got punches being thrown and chain wrestling on display here. And as we mentioned, Fire Ant just came over from Chikara after Wink Vavasseur announced their downfall. He came over with his mates from the Colony. We also have Mike the Lightning Quackenbush, we have Jigsaw, we have Johnny Gargano, we have Los Ice Creams that have all made their way over here, and there are rumors that even more may be on their way. And here is another big-time bulldog from Fire Ant. The speed, the agility, the athleticism, not something currently on display too much in the WWE. The Colony could have a place in the affairs of the higher-up federations as long as they really put the work in down here now. Fire Ant now working the arm, twisting it around. We've got a nice little submission applied here. And he drops Raven to the mat. Now Raven gets up ready to brawl, but Fire Ant working from behind yet again. And we are reversing towards the corner there, standing in the shadow of the turnbuckle. And now Fire Ant, another nice big inverted atomic drop. focusing the impact on the right leg of Raven. Raven escapes from the ring and has to reassess his offensive attack here. Fire Ant out of the ring with him, but Raven meets him with a big drop kick to the back. It was all a ruse. Fire Ant bit, and now he's paying the price as Raven has him exactly where he wants him. The ref can count. Raven doesn't care. He's got Fire Ant on the floor of the arena, and he's going to inflict some pain on the much smaller wrestler in the mask here. And there's another drop toe hold to Fire Ant, face first into the side of the ring and then the floor of the arena. And the leader of the colony struggles to get back into the ring there, hopping over the ropes. Raven with a big punch and forearm connection. And now here's Fire Ant from behind. A big kick to the lower back of Raven, sending him down to the mat. Lands on him with a diving knee. Fire Ant trying to retake control. Here we go. We've got the front neck lock applied. Raven not quite near the ropes enough to reach him. Can Fire Ant hold on? Can he hold on to it? No, Raven seems to be lifting up with incredible leg strength. And there's a big slam to Fire Ant, followed by a shoulder block, knocking Fire Ant to the ground. And we've got punches to the face now. Raven with the ground and pound style. Much more in your face, much more bloody and barbaric. Fire Ant more technical, more aerial, more high flying. A kind of nice combination of styles on display here right now in what so far has been anybody's match. And now Fire Ant blocks the chops, working on the legs of Raven here, trying to take the old man down from the bottom up. Raven reverses a whip and throws Fire Ant into the corner where he clotheslines him in the back of the head and sends him into the pad. Fire Ant reverses out of a floor grapple, but he's dropped in another toe hold. And we've got more reversals. Fire Ant thrown to the outside, and Raven shoulder blocks him, and he flies off and smacks his face on the announcer's table on the way down. That one had to hurt for sure, and now Raven is just stomping away on the floor of the arena. Spins Fire Ant around, but he misses. There's another big drop toe hold. Fire Ant kicks out. We're still on the floor of the arena. The ref with a slow count warning. Oh, and there's a big reversal through the table. The table has been shattered in the first match of the evening. Now we've got a sleeper hold applied by Raven on top of where the table used to stand. And Fire Ant reverses into a stunner of all moves. General Manager Stone Cold has to be happy about that one sitting backstage right now. We're back in the ring, and there's a huge running clothesline from Raven. And he's back to the punches, just slamming his fist into the face of Fire Ant, trying to make him bleed underneath the bright red mask. And now Raven working with a side headlock, and there's the single arm DDT working the shoulder out of the socket there. And he's twisted the arm around again. He's working that arm very hard right now. And there's a big Russian leg sweep to Fire Ant, and Raven is in control of the match now. We've got a pinfall, almost a 2 count, but Fire Ant does indeed kick out. Raven is up and punching. Fire Ant is taking the abuse, and there's another front neck lock. And we've got Raven locked up again. Again, he's not near the ropes. Fire Ant's really locking it in now, but Raven again able to get up to his feet and throw Fire Ant to the mat off of him. And Raven trying to gain position on Fire Ant here. Fire Ant with the side headlock. Raven reverses out and slaps the arm away. And another big running clothesline. He signals to the crowd. He knows he's in control here. He's the veteran. But wait, Fire Ant reverses and sweeps him to the ground. Fire Ant lifts Raven up to his feet. And we've got an Irish whip into a big-time Hurricane Rana, throwing Raven into the center of the ring. Fire Ant is on fire right now. He is all fired up in fuego. And he's got Raven up on his shoulders. There it is. It's the modified white noise. There it is. That's a huge impact. All on the back and the neck and the head of Raven. We've got a pin. 1, 2, 3. Fire Ant wins the match. Fire Ant wins his debut match at AWA over the wily veteran Raven, and you know he's going to move up the card one way or another now. It just kind of depends where he is going to go, as we mentioned, and if I have to put money on it, there's that drop toe hold sending Fire Ant face first through the table. If I have to put my money on it, I'm going to say he's going to go after the Heartland Championship that Tyson Kidd currently holds. Kidd should be on notice. And there's Fire Ant in the ring. The crowd loves it. The crowd loves his high-impact, high-flying style. They're not quite used to it, but with the addition of all of our wrestlers from Chikara, they should revolutionize the WWE on the bottom rungs of its ladder here. Maybe one day we'll see him competing up on the main stage. I will say that masked wrestlers are refreshing here in WWE. aside from Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio, not too much until recently with the Colony and Via Viaquez. And now we move right into our second match of the evening. This is going to be a one-fall match between Kevin Steen and Seth Rollins. And this is interesting in that both men lost their AWA titles at the pre-pay-per-view show last Saturday before Night of Champions. Kevin Steen, the former AWA heavyweight champion who lost in a one-fall match to Brock Sampson. Seth Rollins losing his in a Hell in a Cell match against Tyson Kidd. Now they both meet here to determine who is more of a loser and who is less of a loser. And here is Steen in all of his foreboding glory, an independent wrestling darling for so many years. He finally made his way into WWE as Ring of Honor shut its doors forever just about a year ago. And he is not impressed with the crowd here in Des Moines, Iowa. He's not a happy man without that belt around his waist, and this is his first appearance since last Saturday. Brock Sampson has yet to be seen brandishing his title, but Kevin Steen, you know, is going to be invoking a rematch clause or just generally making life a living hell for Brock Sampson over the next few weeks. And whether or not he likes them, the crowd likes Kevin Steen here in Des Moines, and that is very apparent. But he just has the look on his face of a man who is deeply unhappy with the state of the world around him. And then representing the Shield, here he comes, Seth Rollins. A big part of this three-man stable that here in AWA has wreaked havoc on people across the board. Seth Rollins, a pretty successful Heartland champion across the first 2 months of the AWA. His teammates, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, a thorn in the side of anybody in the tag team division. And they've had a nice feud with the primetime players going on in which they have destroyed PTP in both of their matches, but they can't seem to beat the Dudley Boys for the titles. And here is Seth Rollins coming out, also with a huge chip on his shoulder, much like Kevin Steen, who's waiting for him in the ring. He held that Heartland Championship through a couple of really gruesome matches in the early going here in AWA, but he just could not retain it against Tyson Kidd, and now he finds himself, a very recent former champion, doing battle with someone in the same position as him. And all bets are off here, as both men are going to be looking to put their pride on the line to make sure that they come out looking like they are ready to go back and win the title they lost. Each man needs that back. And we are officially underway, and Seth Rollins moving right into Kevin Steen with some big-time punches to the jaw. Steen works around on the arm and throws Rollins into the corner, and there's a big clothesline following it up, sending him down to the mat. Steen picking Rollins up, and he's got him in a side headlock. Rollins reverses out and has the arm behind. We're going to see a lot of feeling out here, and this is the first time these two have met here in AWA in singles competition. This will be an interesting match. The fans really got used to these two as their former champions and now love to see them fighting against each other in a match that has nothing to do with anything except for pride. Oh, and there's a big spike DDT from Kevin Steen out of nowhere. We've got a kick to the gut onto Seth Rollins. Rollins reverses with a big punch of his own to Steen's face, and he runs right through him with a running tackle. He's got Steen from behind, and there's a big-time back suplex to Kevin Steen. And just for years and years and years, the WWE fans clamored for Vincent McMahon to sign Kevin Steen to some form of contract, whether it was developmental or professional or whatever. On the independent scene, no one had seen anything like Kevin Steen before. He's portly, he's overweight, he doesn't look like he's in the best shape, but he's more athletic than most people on the roster any day of the week. Speaking of, there's a huge super kick like it was nothing from Kevin Steen, staggering Seth Rollins and sending him to the floor. And when Steen finally did sign his contract to come down here to AWA, the crowd loved it. They went wild. Everyone that came here with tickets for the first episode, oh, there's a big-time belly-to-back suplex from Steen, sending Rollins across the ring. And another big spike DDT from him. Head over heels for Seth Rollins as he flies out of the ring, and now we are outside with the ref starting a count. But everybody was very happy to see Mr. Steen come in here to AWA, and he's been great so far, but in his first title defense, he lost his championship to Mr. Sampson, who's been even better. Oh, and there's a big belly to back, sending Seth Rollins right into the side of the ring apron. No regard for his well-being whatsoever, and we're still working outside as the ref counts. Rollins working a lengthy reversal into a punch in the face, but then Steen reverses a running attack into a big-time power slam to the floor of the arena, and there's a spike DDT. Seth Rollins goes face first into the floor of the building. Let me just tell you about the strength of the concrete here in Des Moines, Iowa. Rollins misses a big-time drop kick. We're back in the ring now as Steen with another power slam counters a running assault. And now Rollins reverses out, but Steen is coming back with some punches and a side headlock. And there's another big super kick. Rollins down on his back. Steen just pacing around the ring. He knows he's not done yet. And he stomps on the lower abdomen of Seth Rollins while he's down, taking advantage of it. Now Steen outside of the ring on the other side. He's stripping the table of its top and he's pulling the monitors out. This table that was just put together after our last match. Rollins goes after him but misses a flying body press. And Steen just simply throws him back into the ring and gives him a nice little elbow on the side of the head in the process. Now Steen's still outside by the announcer's table. It looks like he wants to put Rollins through it one way or another, but he's got to get back in before the ref counts him out, and now we are back in the ring. Rollins sets it up, and there's a big snap suplex sending Kevin Steen into the center of the ring on his back. Both men chop each other at the same time, but Rollins comes out with a headlock and a big suplex into a pinfall, but Steen kicks out before a 1 count could even be achieved. Now Steen with a side headlock, and he whips him around and gets a nice belly-to-back suplex again, throwing Rollins across the ring. And now working the arm, he slams all of his weight down, obliterating the left triceps of Seth Rollins. And we've got a submission hold in effect here. Rollins climbing toward the ropes, can't get there, instead lifts Steen up and has a huge backdrop for him. And now Steen with that side headlock, working Rollins around, throws him over in a modified hip toss, and he's got a huge punch to the side of the head, but now Rollins is fighting back. He's got Steen staggered. We've got a double underhook hold here, and there's a big-time throwing suplex from Seth Rollins. Kevin Steen on his back in the ring. Rollins again working from behind, and here's a big-time back suplex spinning around, full 180-degree rotation there. Beautiful form from Seth Rollins. And now he's got a belly to back into a pinfall. Almost a 1 count. Steen manages to kick out and get his shoulders up. Steen now throwing Rollins to the off apron of the ring. He pulls him back in for that Randy Orton middle rope assisted DDT, and Seth Rollins is busted wide open. His forehead cuts open on the ring after he lands. Rollins, though, reversing Kevin Steen into the turnbuckle, and he's warming up for what looks like it's going to be a big clothesline. There's a chop. And now Rollins forces Steen up onto the top of the turnbuckle. And we've got punches to the face here. We're setting him up for a superplex. Don't do it! Don't do it! Oh, he does it! And they're down in the center of the ring. Kevin Steen in the middle is down. Rollins immediately up and trying to stomp on him. We've got another big suplex here. There it is. There's a huge chin break. Oh, God. That's the big time truth or consequences. Steen manages to roll out, though. And now Steen reversing. Oh, it's the package pile driver. Nobody's going to get out of this. There he is. He's got him up. And there it is. A package pile driver. Rollins is down. His neck is shattered. His body is tattered. Steen pulls him into the center of the ring. We've got a pinfall here. 1. But he kicks out after a 1 count. Steen's got to do more than that. Rollins with a chop. Steen has him in a headlock again. Rollins reverses out. Now we're in a side headlock. We have the chain grapple wrestling going on. Rollins throws him over his hip and he goes for a chop, but they hit each other at the same time. And now Steen back in control with a well-timed punch to the face. We've got a side headlock. And he throws Rollins into the turnbuckle and then takes him by the back and throws him into the turnbuckle again, shoulder first into the steel post. And a big-time spike DDT again to the already bloodied and broken Rollins, who now rolls out of the ring to escape. Steen follows, but Rollins is on him and gives him a big belly-to-back suplex, German style. And he's stomping on Kevin Steen's face as the referee in the ring is indeed counting them both out right now. They have until 10 to make their way back in this one fall match. Rollins is going for an armbar outside of the ring, but there will be no submissions recorded outside of the ring. Rollins back inside. Steen close behind him, up on the apron. Hops back in. And Rollins misses a big time. Oh, he hits the drop kick, and Steen falls over slowly like the redwood tree he is. Rollins with punches. Steen with an enziguri. Rollins is down. Steen drops a fist into his back right below his neck. Steen, a couple of sentons, is in complete control of this match now. Steen's got another side headlock locked in, and he's throwing Rollins across into the turnbuckle, and he follows up with a huge clothesline, sending Rollins to the ground. Steen now pulling him towards the center of the ring, away from the ropes. We've got a pin. 1, 2, 2.87429. Almost a 3 count, but Steen is now on the ground as Rollins is up and fighting again. And he goes for a stomp on the back of Steen's head. Steen reverses into another huge power slam. Huge power slam. We've got a 1, 2. Oh, 2 count. Rollins does kick out. We've got a collar and elbow tie-up as they are in a feat of strength right now. These two former champions. Pride on the line. Somebody's going to come out on top and show the world that they maybe should not have lost their title on Saturday. And here's Rollins, the big-time neck breaker. He's got Steen down on the mat, but Rollins himself is looking hurt. He's looking like the body is in some pain. And he misses an aerial maneuver. Steen is up with a senton, landing right on the back of Rollins. He rolls him over. We've got a pin. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Steen wins off a senton and a big-time reversal. Looks like Seth Rollins knocked himself off, botching the aerial maneuver, and Kevin Steen, the all-around great competitor that he is, took advantage. So Steen, your former AWA World Heavyweight Champion, gets a win here on his first match without the belt, and you have to think that he's going to be back in that title hunt sometime soon. I don't doubt that Seth Rollins is going to be after the Heartland Championship again, but I think maybe he's going to try teaming up with someone on his team as well. We may get to see a little 3-on-3 between the Colony and the Shield. Who knows? AWA, ladies and gentlemen, full of potential. And in between matches here, we'd like to take a little time to note that it has come to the attention of YouTube and Vincent McMahon that many viewers of our programming at home are experiencing problems where the insane high definition of our athletes' entrance videos is quite literally melting the displays of their computers. So we have decided in all future broadcasts from this point forward to eschew using any entrance videos whatsoever. If you wish to see them, you can check them out on WWE.com and go to the appropriate subheading for AWA or NXT or Raw or SmackDown. In the meantime, we will not be showing them in our live broadcasts anymore. And here's Kevin Steen. He looks a little bit happier than he did when he came down to the ring, and the crowd is definitely behind him. We're moving into our third match of the night, and we have El Hijo del Ice Cream taking on Camacho in another one-fall match. El Hijo del Ice Cream, one of the two members of Los Ice Creams, one of the goofiest and cartooniest little tag teams the wrestling world has ever known. But don't let the bright colors and happy music fool you. These are two of the most devious men you'll ever see, and El Hijo del Ice Cream is here to show Camacho that you do not mess with Los Ice Creams. And Camacho, on the other hand, recently re-signed here in AWA after being released by the WWE almost 3.5 years ago. His former partner, Hunico, has really risen the ladder here in WWE, having won the Internet Championship in NXT and cashing that in to move on up to the SmackDown roster. Camacho is hoping that one day he and Hunico can potentially team up together again, but in order to achieve that goal, he's got to go one step at a time, and step one is beating El Hijo del Ice Cream tonight in this ring. And here is Camacho coming into the ring on his trademark bike, taking it straight out of Hunico's book, and Camacho is breaking our rule and showing his entrance video. I think Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to have a word with him about that. He may have some financial strikes against him in the very near future. But in the meantime, he struts into the ring as El Hijo del Ice Cream is warming up on his side. This should be a nice little fast-paced, high-flying matchup for us. And we're underway, and El Hijo del Ice Cream immediately going after Camacho with a very unorthodox little arm toss there. Ice Cream has him in a side headlock, and he throws Camacho across the ring into the turnbuckle. And once across, he's got Camacho. He pulls him off the turnbuckle for a huge running clothesline. El Hijo del Ice Cream completely in control of this matchup from the beginning, but there is Camacho with a big shoulder block. Ice Cream throws him down. Ice Cream working from behind now. He is another new one from Chikara that just came over when Wink Vavasseur announced the downfall of the company. He and his partner Ice Cream Jr. were most certainly looking for consistent work, and when they found out that Mr. McMahon had decided to reopen the long-defunct AWA for the purposes of training, essentially, Los Ice Creams knew they wanted to be a part of it. So here we are. Camacho with a headlock now, and he's got Ice Cream up for a suplex, and he drops him down to finish off the maneuver after a slight stall in midair to show off the core strength of Camacho. He misses a dropkick, though, and Hijo takes advantage. And Camacho in control again. Another big-time suplex, holding Ice Cream up and dropping him near the corner of the ring. And now Ice Cream throwing Camacho into the corner himself, and he misses on a shoulder block there, but he gets a nice stomp and sends Camacho down to the mat. And now he's working the knee into the side of the face of Camacho. And we're trading punches now. Ice Cream with a side headlock on Camacho. And he knocks him down. And Camacho works his way out of that predicament. El Hijo del Ice Cream reverses his own way and throws Camacho down. There's a big-time back body drop from the man in pink to Camacho. But Camacho is up faster than expected, going for punches. Now here's El Hijo. There's that flipping, twisting arm wrench right there. Big-time submission. And El Hijo hits a dropkick right in the center of the back of Camacho that sends him face first into the mat, dazing him. And there's another one of those flying arm drags from El Hijo del Ice Cream. I just don't see Camacho with a real chance to win this match here tonight, as Camacho runs outside, and there's a big-time neck breaker, taking back an advantage as El Hijo del Ice Cream took the time to leave the ring, but now throwing him over his shoulder, Ice Cream retakes control as he's whipped right into the corner of the arena, and there is a big-time neck breaker from Camacho to El Hijo del Ice Cream. And now Camacho seems to be in control, with his own offensive maneuvers taking every little bit of this match into consideration. And Camacho is back in the ring. El Hijo del Ice Cream quickly follows him and breaks up a taunt. He's got the arm twisted around pretty grotesquely. And he brings Camacho back in for a nice big momentum-assisted elbow. Camacho down on the ground. Ice Cream on his back. The move's locked in. Camacho's trying to crawl for a rope. He can't get the one. Instead, he stands up. He stands up, and there's a big backdrop. And there is an elbow to the chest of El Hijo del Ice Cream. But there's another big back body drop as Camacho keeps trying to run at Hijo. Hijo is ready for it. He's scouted his opponent. He has not seen this neckbreaker coming, though. It's the third one of those we have very recently seen. And another big-time arm drag keeps El Hijo del Ice Cream in control. And now we are working around on the arms here. There's a big-time power slam from El Hijo del Ice Cream onto Camacho. Camacho is a bit staggered up in the top of the ring, but he reverses Hijo into the corner. And instead of attacking, he taunts. He's got his fist in the air. Ice Cream is up off the corner, but there is a big-time maneuver from Camacho. We've got him throwing him down. Big power slam from Camacho. He's all the way up. He's ready to do some damage. He climbs up to the top turnbuckle. And he flies with a big press, but El Hijo del Ice Cream catches him in midair, throws him on his shoulders. Oh my God, what a maneuver, what a combination. Big time AA from El Hijo del Ice Cream. 2 count, Camacho kicks out. The crowd is going insane right now. There's a kick to the gut and a huge DDT from Camacho to El Hijo del Ice Cream. He's dragging him towards the center of the ring. There's a 1. Oh, but El Hijo kicks out. We've had a huge momentum swing here, back and forth. Camacho with a shoulder block, sending El Hijo del Ice Cream down to the mat. And he's stomping him in the chest now, putting a little mud hole in him, making Steve Austin proud backstage. Camacho with a headlock. He's got him up for another stalled suplex, and there he is, dropping El Hijo del Ice Cream down to the mat. Camacho is taunting for him to get up. And Ice Cream obliges, punching Camacho, staggering him. He's got him up. It looks like a big-time scoop slam, but Camacho gets out of it, elbowing him, and he runs at him for a big running neck breaker from behind there. We've got a pinfall here. 1 count again. Ice Cream is on his feet. He's going to be tougher to beat than this. And there's Ice Cream with his own neck breaker, bringing Camacho down to the mat. He's got a cover. Not even a 1 count. Camacho is ready for this. And another big-time flying arm drag from El Hijo del Ice Cream onto Camacho. And he's got Camacho up by the side of the head. And there's a running neck breaker from Camacho. It sends El Hijo down. Camacho immediately climbing up on top of the turnbuckle. He jumps. Big time senton. Misses butt first into the ring. El Hijo del Ice Cream is up, stepping on him. And he runs across the ring off the ropes. And there's his own senton. Butt into the chest of Camacho. That's how you do it. We've got a 1, almost a 2 count, but Camacho kicks out. And he's up with punches. And now El Hijo del Ice Cream has fallen out of the ring. And Camacho waits for him to come back in and then goes back on the offensive with an elbow to the head there. And another spinning, twisting arm lock here from El Hijo del Ice Cream. Can Camacho get out of this? This could be the end of the match with all the pain they've inflicted so far. But no, Camacho gets out with a little bit of a head scissor ingenuity. And Camacho with a stop to the hamstring of El Hijo del Ice Cream. Here's a pinfall from Camacho. Just a 1 count on El Hijo. Oh, and there's a big boot from Camacho, sending El Hijo del Ice Cream rolling across the ring. And now Camacho's daring him to get back up, and he does. There's a kick to the gut. Another big-time DDT from Camacho. El Hijo del Ice Cream's been busted open. The red through the purple and the pink is insane. And another big neck breaker from Camacho. And now he's dragging El Hijo del Ice Cream into the center of the ring here. Here's the cover. 1. Just a 1 count. El Hijo kicks out, even with the blood pouring from his forehead. Camacho tackles him, keeping him on the ground. He works the leg and kicks him in the hamstring yet again. Trying to stop, El Hijo runs out of the way, ends up in the corner, pinned down, reverses out of that with a drop kick. And now he's working behind Camacho. Camacho spins around, side headlock on El Hijo del Ice Cream. And there's another stalled suplex. El Hijo is down on the mat. We've got a cover here. 1. Just a 1 count. El Hijo kicks out. And now we've got Ice Cream working from behind with a big belly-to-back suplex there. Nice amateur-style maneuver. And Ice Cream has just kicked Camacho in the face. And he's dragging Camacho toward the center of the ring. We've got a cover here. 1. Just a 1 count. Camacho kicks out. The pinfalls are coming on more aggressively now. And we've got a roll-up. Surprise roll-up. But Camacho kicks out of it before El Hijo del Ice Cream could win the match cheaply. And Camacho now having a move reversed from him. And there's a big-time neck breaker again from Camacho onto El Hijo del Ice Cream. 1. Just a 1 count. Oh, and there's the double underhook powerbomb from Camacho onto El Hijo del Ice Cream. Hijo struggling to his feet. Camacho ready for it. There's a kick to the gut. Another big-time DDT. That's 3 in this match. This has got to be it. We've got 1, 2, 3. That is it indeed. Camacho wins over El Hijo del Ice Cream. And that was a surprisingly good match, as each competitor really seemed to have studied this week to know what the other was doing at any one point in time. And here we are after the match. Camacho offers his hand, and El Hijo del Ice Cream accepts it. And they both have their fists in the air now. What a show of sportsmanship here in AWA. They're not just here to win titles and get cheap pops. And here we are moving on to the 4th match of the evening. This is something of a grudge match for sure. Making his way to the ring first, we have Ryan Griggs, the American Samoan. One of the more interesting characters here in AWA, and somehow, even though he's only been wrestling here for just about a month, and he's been losing most of his matches, as of last week, he found himself as the #1 contender to both the AWA World Heavyweight Championship and the AWA Heartland Championship. Now, Devon Dudley, his opponent here, is currently one half of the AWA Hawkeye Champions, the tag teams. He and his brother Bubba Ray are the champs here, but Devon has been instrumental in making the Heartland Championship division as competitive as it has been. Now, if he were to win this match against Mr. Ryan Griggs, Devon could easily move on to obtain a title match for the Heartland belt at our next pay-per-view here. And that seems to be the case, as Devon Dudley is now making his way to the ring, wearing his Aces and Eights gear and that giant floating tag team belt around his vest. But there is no love lost between these two, as even though Mr. Griggs is new to AWA, he has certainly picked an enemy in Devon Dudley. And Devon is strutting his way down to the ring, throwing punches to nobody in general. Shadow boxing indeed. Ryan Griggs waits in the ring. And while we're on the subject of Mr. Griggs, let's talk about that interesting history he has just a little bit. He's college educated, living in Orange County, California, afraid to see the world whatsoever because it might be a little bit different from what he is used to. So, he decides that he's going to become a missionary, and he's going to head to Samoa, the island of American Samoa, not thinking they don't need missionaries there at all. And in his 3 years spent there studying and teaching and learning, he began to identify with the Samoan cause and began to consider himself a true Samoan. Now, they would not give him a name, but they would give him plenty of their tattoos, so he is now Ryan Griggs, the American Samoan, and he is the #1 contender for the Hawkeye Championship, the Heartland Championship, sorry about that. And we have the match underway, Devon Dudley in early control, pounding on the back of Ryan Griggs, sending him to the mat. And you just have to wonder if Griggs can stand up to this. His ranking is very favorable in line for both championships, but he loses most of his matches. Devon Dudley is a proven winner, having won the tag team titles here in a tables match against the Primetime Players. And now we're outside. We're near the table that's been broken once already. And Devon's got that arm wrapped around. There's a big-time gutbuster. Oh, and a big hip toss narrowly avoids sending Devon through the table. Ryan Griggs using his momentum against him there. We're still hanging out outside, and Devon's got a headlock, but Ryan Griggs fights his way out of it. The ref is indeed counting. And there's a big classic scoop slam from Devon Dudley to Ryan Griggs, the American Samoan. And now they're both throwing their bodies around, getting dangerously close to that table. But there goes Devon back into the ring, and Griggs follows suit shortly after. And they are reversing each other left and right here. Oh, and there's a big spinning neckbreaker from Ryan Griggs onto Devon. And there's a kick to the gut, and there we go. Griggs working the Samoan kick cycle there. And as stupid as it seems... Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, cutting myself off there. There's a big-time clothesline from Devon Dudley. And he flies off with a big flying clothesline. He's got Ryan Griggs exactly where he wants him. He's taking control of this match. I had to cut myself off there because he's rolling onto a tear right now. Just punching a hole in the head of Ryan Griggs in the center of the mat there. And here's another big-time scoop slam from Devon Dudley. He's in complete control of the match. He backs up, and here it is. It's a falling diving headbutt. Griggs takes the impact of it right on his own forehead, and now Devon signals to the crowd. Griggs is stumbling to his feet. There's a big-time standing spinebuster from Devon Dudley. He bounces back from the impact. Griggs absorbs it all with his spine and nothing else. Devon with the cover. Just a one count. Griggs kicks out. And Griggs reverses a running Devon into a hip toss. And now he's trying to regain control here and show the world that he does indeed deserve to be the #1 contender for the Heartland Championship. Griggs around behind him. Devon reverses into a side headlock. And here's another big-time scoop slam, and Griggs is on his back once again. Now he's resting up against the ropes. Devon has him. Griggs throws him out of the ring. Devon catches himself on the apron, and he punches himself back into the ring. Climbing through the ropes, Griggs is staggered, and he gets a hip toss onto Devon, sending Devon back first into the mat. Oh, and Griggs picks an awful time to celebrate with the crowd as Devon comes out of nowhere with a flying European uppercut, knocking him right in the jaw. Devon down again after another hip toss. Here's Griggs, and he's going to throw Devon into the corner. Spins him around, and there's a punch in the head. And now Griggs is lifting Devon up onto the turnbuckle. Devon reverses out. He's up on top. What's he going to do here? Big time double axe handle. Nails it right into the forehead of Griggs. We've got a pin. Just the one count. Griggs kicks out. Devon misses with a flurry of punches. Griggs into a side headlock off the reversal. And now a big pump handle rib breaker from Devon onto Ryan Griggs. Devon grabbing a handful of dreadlock, just punching Ryan Griggs until he is dazed. And there's a big Luthez press from Devon Dudley. And he hits another elbow drop here. And it looks like he's going to go for another big falling headbutt. There it is. Right into the head of Ryan Griggs. Griggs is bleeding. Griggs is cut open. Devon's got him on his feet, staggered. And another big-time spine buster from Devon Dudley. And Dudley's got Griggs up. Griggs is dazed. Spins him around. Grabbed him by the back. Griggs now reverses out. Devon is dazed. Devon reverses. Chain wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. And Devon with a huge clothesline to the back sends Griggs down. Devon with the cover. We've got a 1. Just a 1 count again. Griggs is not giving up this easily. Another flying European uppercut. Griggs is down, holding his mouth. He may have lost a tooth there. Devon misses a third flying European uppercut. Griggs is holding his body. He's got his arm up against his abs, but he's still fighting as he reverses out. Devon down to the mat. And Devon another big-time Luthez press. Just raining punches down on the head of Ryan Griggs. We may have a concussion to deal with after this. Devon misses another European uppercut there. And Griggs hits him with a shoulder tackle. And here's another pump handle rib breaker from Devon onto Griggs. Griggs is bleeding all over the ring right now. But he's still fighting with another hip toss onto Devon, rejecting the running maneuver brought at him. And Devon punches all over now. Griggs staggering in the ring. Fights out of it. Runs at Devon. Big shoulder block, sending Devon Dudley to the mat. And Griggs is now working on some stomps. And Devon reverses around. Oh, and he whips Devon into the ring, into the corner there. Devon works his way out. There's a big clothesline to the back of the neck, sending Griggs down to the mat. And here's Devon yet again. We're going to have another falling headbutt. Third time's got to be a charm. Let's get another spinebuster here. Oh, no, no. He's got the lifting reverse DDT. He hits him clean. We've got 1, 2, 3. Devon Dudley wins the match against Ryan Griggs. Devon Dudley, one half of your Hawkeye champions. He maintains his push in both the races for the AWA Heavyweight Championship and the AWA Heartland Championship. And Ryan Griggs, well, maybe this loss is what's going to bring him down the card a little bit. So we're not sure why he was positioned as highly as he was, but the fact of the matter is that he was, and that is it. The crowd loves the Devon victory here. They'd love to see a double champion in AWA if possible, and they all think Ryan Griggs is kind of a D-bag. And here we are after the match. Griggs getting up. Wait, this is Bray Wyatt! Bray Wyatt's here! He's raining blows down on both of them. Bray Wyatt heavily in the mix for Brock Sampson's AWA Championship with both of those men. He comes down and he lays out both of them in the ring. And now we're heading into a truly Stone Cold Steve Austin main event. We've got the other two members of the Colony, Green Ant and Soldier Ant, taking each other on in a respectable feat of strength. And making his way to the ring first, we have Soldier Ant, the de facto military operations leader of the Colony here in AWA. And he's making his way to the ring to a nice little crowd ovation. This is not his first match in AWA. He's been successful so far. And he's slowly making his way to the ring. Not exactly in a hurry to take on his friend Green Ant, but he understands the entertainment value provided by the match. And as they take pride in their training within the Lucha Libre style, the members of the Colony will certainly do each other the justice of fighting each other every now and then to see where their individual skill sets lie. And now we've got Green Ant making his way to the ring. His music playing here. And he makes his way up. But wait a second, Darren Young of the Primetime Players throws Green Ant down to the steel stage. Green Ant is knocked unconscious. He's been removed from the match. Young rolls into the ring, and the ref is allowing this. The ref is allowing the match to go on with Darren Young and Soldier Ant instead. This is insane. And Soldier Ant wasting no time attacking Darren Young with the inverted atomic drop. Now, what does this mean? Is Darren Young going to challenge in the tag team division? I don't understand this, but he just viciously attacked Green Ant up on the stage as Green Ant was entering the arena here. And now Darren Young, who has not had much success here in AWA, is challenging Soldier Ant. He may just be picking on a newbie that I think he's underestimating a little bit. As we remember, Darren Young and his partner Titus O'Neil in the Primetime Players, they were our inaugural tag team champions, the inaugural Hawkeye champions in AWA when everything got started. Unfortunately, they couldn't defend their titles one time, as their first defense was a tag team table match against none other than the Dudley Boys, who won the belts very quickly, 5-minute stops, putting both Titus and Darren through the tables. And they have been the champions ever since then. So maybe Young is just a bored non-champion looking to pick on a newbie. Maybe he's trying to start a tag team rivalry between the PTP and the Colony. Maybe he thinks that only one man should be able to wear the color bright green tonight, and it should be him with his trunks. But either way, he's out here fighting Soldier Ant in place of the now injured Green Ant. And he's got control right now, working the leg on a nice unorthodox move there. And Darren Young has the arm twisted around. Soldier Ant fights out, kips up, and slaps the arm away, and there's a big punch. We've got a side headlock from Soldier Ant. Darren Young now working from behind, and he blocks the chop, sending Soldier Ant down from the leg. I still can't get over Bray Wyatt coming out at the end of the last match. Ryan Griggs just lost decisively. Devon Dudley won and maintained his pacing in the hunt for both major titles here in AWA. And out of nowhere, Bray Wyatt, the biggest cancer on this roster so far, comes out and lays both of them out. Unbelievable. But here's a pinfall from Darren Young. Just about a 1 count, and Soldier Ant kicks out, but he's hurting. He's in some pain right now. And he misses a flying maneuver there. But he hits him with a gut punch, and now he's kind of taking control back. He whips the arm around a little bit. And Soldier Ant throws Darren Young to the mat. We refresh. And there's a big swinging neck breaker from Soldier Ant onto Darren Young. Soldier Ant obviously mad. There's Darren Young countering a running maneuver with an inverted atomic drop. And Soldier Ant is absolutely livid right now, considering his partner is still lying lifeless at the top of the ramp. We've got another 1, 2. Soldier Ant kicks out on 2. Darren Young taking control here in this match. Soldier Ant twists the arm around here in this main event of AWA on this first Wednesday evening of October 2014. It's been a pretty action-packed night so far. And with Fire Ant winning in the first match of the evening, you know Soldier Ant wants to give the Colony another victory here tonight. And now Soldier Ant stomping on Darren Young on the ground. Oh, and there's Soldier Ant with the setting it up. Big Canadian neck breaker indeed. And he salutes the crowd. This can only mean one thing coming up right now. Darren Young struggling to get up. This is it. He's got him on his shoulders. And it's the swinging jawbreaker. And here's a cover from Soldier Ant. We've got 1. Just a 1 count. Darren Young kicks out. The crowd is electric. They want to see Soldier Ant win. There's a big punch and Young is staggered. Darren Young escapes. And the crowd here in the Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa is all on their feet. There's a big time electric chair drop from Soldier Ant. Darren Young is on his back. Soldier Ant saluting the crowd again. And now he's got Darren Young. There's a big time European uppercut from Soldier Ant. Another electric chair drop being applied. Darren Young on his back in the center of the ring. Soldier Ant picks him up by the head, runs at him, big drop kick, and Darren Young is bleeding. We've had blood everywhere tonight. We've got juice in the ring. Grab your sippy cup. And there's a big falling headbutt from Soldier Ant. Now Darren Young looking to take control again. Soldier Ant reverses out, side headlock. Darren Young slaps the arm away. Soldier Ant runs at him, big time momentum assisted DDT. Blood staining the white mat here in the AWA arena. Oh, and this is going to be another one. It's a Canadian neckbreaker. And he lands it perfectly. Darren Young's head snaps up. He's got whiplash. One more salute to the crowd from Army Ant, Soldier Ant. This has to be over. He's got Darren up on his shoulders, and there it is, another swinging jawbreaker. The full rotation. The face first into the mat. Soldier Ant with the cover. 1, 2, 3. Soldier Ant wins the match. Soldier Ant defends Green Ant's honor. Darren Young is hurt and bleeding inside the ring. Soldier Ant wins it for the Colony, and with that, we are going to head off the air for the evening. We've had 5 high-impact matches, and we will be back here tomorrow with the Superstars Clip Show SmackDown on Friday and the Saturday Night Heat Clip Show on Saturday. And we'll be moving right into a new week of WWE entertainment. We hope you have enjoyed your matches here on AWA this evening. And for a serious note, outside of the fourth wall here, if you are interested in any of these Chikara created wrestlers, please check out the channel described in the link below in the description of the video. Cray Fufu knows what he's doing with these things, and he is an excellent, excellent man in all things Chikara knowledge. You guys have a great night. This is Rausch Games commenting here from AWA. Soldier Ant, victorious. Chikara, goodbye.